Namaste everyone, and today we are going to uh, see how can we apply different kind of commands on this cube that I have placed on this red cube. Okay, that's what we are going to see today. And for the same, what we are going to do is we are going to make use of C# scripting. Fine. So what I've done here is I've placed a red cube. I have defined a red cube first, and on the very same red cube I've defined a white cube. Fine. After this, giving command to this white cube over here using coding, I need to insert a C# script, and the name I'm going to give to the C# script is, let's say, test cube. Okay, this is what I am giving the name to this C# script. Let's open the C# script. So it is going to open up in the Visual Studio installed in our laptop. Okay, so the Unity software that I'm using is Unity 2015 32-bit, and the Visual Studio that I'm using is Visual Studio 2017 or 18, I think. That is a version of Visual Studio I'm using. So first of all, we are going to define a code with which we can make the object disappear, or we can destroy the object. So this is the code that we can use. So there is a keyword called destroy, okay, that we can use for destroying the game object, and the name that I'm going to pass here is game object. Okay, this is the name that I'm going to pass here because I want to destroy the game object, right? So when the game will start for the first time, automatically this command will run and it is going to destroy the game object. Let's see what is going to happen when we will apply this script on this cube 1. Okay, this is cube 1 that you're seeing. Let me just rename this cube to white cube. Okay, I'm renaming it to white cube. This is how you can rename the cube. Now I am going to apply this C# script on this white cube by dragging and dropping it on this white cube like this. Fine. So when you will click on this white cube, you will see this test cube. You'll see the script over here. Now let us run the game and see what is the result. So we are getting an error right now. Let's see why are we getting an error. So this is the test cube script. It is fine. Okay, and why are we getting an error? Okay, the name of the spelling is not correct. It should be destroy, DESTROY. Let's see what's gonna happen once we'll save the change and hit the play button. So when the game will come in play mode, the cube is automatically going to disappear, means it will get destroyed. See, okay, the cube has got disappeared. So that's how you can destroy any object that you have got in the game area using this simple code, destroy game object. Okay, now let's do one thing. If we want the object to get destroyed automatically after some amount of time, so how can I do that? How can we do that? We can pass we can pass a value like this over here. Okay, 3f. F stands for float. If it is a floating value, then we can use f, or otherwise you can use 3 directly. It hardly matters. So 3f we are going to pass here. Let's see what is going to happen. So when I will play the game, the object is going to get disappear after 3 seconds. Okay, that's how this works. 1 2 3 boom. Why it is so? That's how it is going to disappear after some time. Let's see if we'll. Okay, now if we do not want to destroy the object like this, we want to destroy the object ourselves, okay, in such a way that if we click on the object, we want the object to get destroyed. So for that, what we can do is we can define another function like this. This is a function that we can use for giving the command through the mouse click. Okay, so the name of the function is OnMouseClick, which you can use. Now when I will click the the object, when I will right click or double click on the object, what I want is I want to see the object getting disappear from the screen. So I'm going to copy this code, I'm going to put it here, and I'm removing this 3f from here. Okay, let's see what are the changes we are going to get. Let me just double check the code. Is it good or not? Yep, perfectly fine. Let's see whether we'll be able to make the cube go disappear when we click on this cube or not. Let's click on this cube. No, it is not getting disappeared. Why it's not getting disappeared? Let's just check that out. Okay, it's not on mouse click, it should be on mouse down. Okay, it should be on mouse down. This is the name of the function that we need to use. Okay, let's play the game. So when I clicked on the object has got disappeared. So that's how you can give the command through your mouse click, okay, to the object that you've got on the game area. Now let's see what else can we do. Let's come in this update portion. Now what is the difference between this update function and start function? The start function is called only once when the game begins. When we hit the play button, only one time the start function is called up. But the update function is called for every frame. Okay, so let's make use of this update button. And here what we are going to do is we are going to make use of an if loop. What we want is if we press the spacebar key, we want to destroy the object. We want to see the object go disappear from the screen. So how can we do that? How can we give a command through the keyboard buttons? That's what we are going to see. So for that, we can make use of this input class, and here we are going to write down get key down. This is the same function that we had read about in the code.org platform when we were when we were doing coding on that code.org platform. So this get key down, when the key will be pressed. Now which key will be pressed? How can I get the command from the key? So key code. Okay, key code is a property that I can use for reading the command that is going to give that this spacebar is going to give. Okay, or for reading the key pressed by the user. This is the code, and this input class is going to help me out in reading the command. Okay, so what I want should happen, I want the object to get destroyed, right? So I'm going to copy this thing and I'm going to paste it here. Let's see what is going to happen to this cube when we will press the spacebar key. So instead of clicking on this object, I'm going to press the spacebar key now. So the object has got disappeared from this game area. So this is how you can pass any command through the keyboard keys. Okay. Now what else we are going to do in this lecture? Let's add let's add some physics to this cube over here. How can we do that? By adding the rigid body component to this cube, right? That's how we can add some physics to this cube. We need to come here and we need to select this rigid body component. So now we have got the rigid body component added to this cube, and this gravity, it is going to now react to the gravity also. Now as you can see, there are some properties defined under this rigid body. How can we access these properties? In order to access these properties, what we can do is, here publicly we can define a rigid body variable. Okay, let's say RB. So this is with the help of this variable we can access all the properties of a rigid body component. Okay, so remember this keyword rigid body. Now let's come on this start function, and here we are going to write down this command get component in order to access all the component which are related to this rigid body. We can make use of this property, this function name of which is get component. Okay, so that's how you can make use of it. After that, we are going to come here in this update function part. Now what we want is, when the user will press the spacebar key, I want to see the cube moving, okay, with some force. I want to apply some force on the cube. So for applying some force on the cube, what we can do is we can make use of this add force property. Okay, and what are the parameters that I'm going to pass here? I want it to go in the y direction and come back. So for going up, for moving it in the upward direction, I need to fetch the y coordinates, right? I need to fetch the y coordinates. So vector 3, by the help of this vector 3 component, I can access the values for all the x, y, and z axis. So for now, I need to fetch up the value for the y axis. So for that, what is the property that I need to use? Up is the property. Vector 3 up, and then I need to multiply it by some value so as to see it going upwards with some speed. So that's how I can do it. I can multiply it with 500. Let's see what is going to happen if we'll press the spacebar key. I'm going to first comment out this statement. Sorry, not this one. This is the one which I'm going to comment out. Let's see what are we going to get as a result in the Unity platform. So when we'll hit the play button, now it takes some time to come in play mode. So now it is in play mode. Let's see what is going to happen if I will press the spacebar key. So the object is going to jump like this. Are you all able to see this object? Okay, it is going to jump like this. See, so that's how I can add a force to any object that I've defined in the play area or scene area of this Unity. Okay, now let's come back on this Visual Studio Code. Let's see what else can we do. Now, if suppose you want to add some velocity to the object that you have defined in the Unity store, how can you do that? For doing that, we need to make use of this update function again. So let's comment out all the code that we have defined over here. I'm commenting it out, and inside this update function, okay, let's write down this code called rb.velocity. Let's make use of this property called velocity in order to assign some velocity to that cube on which we have applied this script. So again we are going to make use of vector3 component, and we want to see it moving forward. So here I'm going to pass this forward property, and with this I'm going to multiply a value, some value. Okay, let's save the changes and see what is going to happen if I will hit this play button. Okay, so I am getting an error right now. Why I'm getting an error? Let's see why. This platform vector3 forward, everything is fine. Are we missing? Okay, so we have not commented out this curly braces over here. That's why we were getting the compilation error. Now when this game will come into play mode, this is what you're going to get to see. Check out one more time the result. So it's moving in the forward direction with some velocity. And now if we do not want it to roll, okay, the way it is rolling, we do not want the cube to roll. So what we can do is we can select the cube, white cube, expand this constraints option, and we can freeze the rotation of the cube along the x-axis. Now see, this is the result that you are going to get. Okay, I hope you guys have noticed the difference. Let me just show the final result to you again, because we have freeze the rotation along x-axis. So now we are not seeing it rolling down on this red cube. Now let's come back on the coding and see what else can we do. Let's now define some code that we can make use of for collision. Okay, so what we can do is let's come on this Unity platform again and define a let's define a cube, sorry, sphere. Okay, let's define a sphere on top of this. Where is this sphere? Okay, this white cube is the coordinates of white cube are, just a second, we need to check out the transform part, right? So position is 0.4 and -6. Sphere's position is 0.4 -6. Okay, I need to press F button in order to focus on this cube. Now it is fine. Just a second, let me just adjust the camera's position. Yeah, now that this is fine. So we are going to keep the cube, sorry, we are going to keep this sphere on the top of the cube like this. And let's apply some physics on this cube too. Okay, so this is a view that you are going to get from here. I think it is fine. Okay, now I think it is looking great. So this is what you are going to see. Okay, now let's apply some physics on this sphere that we have defined on this scene area by adding this rigid body component to the sphere. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to tag it with a name. Okay, where is the tag portion? I need to find. Okay, this is the tag portion. You just need to click on this tag portion and come on this add tag button. Okay, now here you will get to see a window like this. Come on this plus sign and click on this, and here you can give a name, give a tag, define a tag for this sphere. Let's say enemy. Fine. Let's click on this white cube and let us come back on this sphere. Okay, now you will not be able to see the tag, okay, that you have defined. What you have to do is you need to click on this untagged option again, and here you will be able to see the name, that the tag that you have defined. Okay, select this tag, and now I have tagged this sphere with this enemy name. Fine. Now what we need to do is we need to come on this Visual Studio, and here we can make use of a function, the name of which is onCollisionEnter. Okay, so we are going to define it like this: private void on collision enter. That's how you can define it. And we are going to pass a parameter, a collision type of parameter. Okay, so this is a parameter that I've passed for this function on collision, and let's define the curly braces also. So inside this I'm going to make use of an if loop, and this is what I am going to define inside this if loop. If the game object that we are using for that we have defined on the that we have defined on that Unity platform, if the tag of that is equals to enemy, okay, so this is referring to the sphere, right? At present we have got 3 game objects on this platform, on this Unity platform. One is this cube, which is acting as a platform for these two this cube and for this sphere. The other one is this cube, and the third one is this sphere. So this code is referring to the game object, the tag of which is equals to enemy. Fine. So if it is equals to enemy, what I want is destroy game object. Fine. I want the game object should be destroyed. Let's see what are we going to get as a result. So when I will hit the play button, automatically, as I've applied some physics on this sphere by adding the rigid body component, it is going to come down. Now what is going to happen when it will come in contact, or it will collide with this cube kept over here? Let's see the result that we are going to get in the game scene. Okay, I have made I think I should have commented out this velocity part, because I do not want the sphere to move from its place. So I need to comment out this velocity part. Let's see what is going to happen when I will hit the play button now. So the cube have got disappeared. That is the result you're going to get. It's the sphere has destroyed this cube. Now if I want the sphere to get destroyed instead of the cube, how can I do that? Instead of writing this game object, I can, let's comment out this statement, this code, and let's copy this code and place it here. And instead of game object, we are going to pass here this thing, collision.game object. Let's see what are we going to get as a result. So this is what you are going to get as a result. Okay, so as you can see, the sphere has got destroyed when it collides with this when it collided with this cube kept over here. Fine. So this is how you can make use of this collision property, this collision function. Now let's come on the now let's discuss about how can we create a new scene in this Unity platform. So for creating a new scene, or for creating a new level of our game, what we can do is we need to come on this file first. file tab first, then we need to click on this new scene option. So this is a window that is going to appear when you will hit the new scene option. Now you need to save this existing scene on which you're working. Let's save it. So what is going to happen when you will hit this save button? You will get redirected to one of the drives. This is the assets drive we have got redirected to. Let's name this scene as level 1. Okay, and I'm saving it with level 1 name. So this is what has got created here, and this is the second scene that you're seeing over here. And now let me just show you one more thing. When you will hit this file button and you will come on this build settings option. Now when you will hit this add open scenes, so this is the level 1 that you need to okay. Let's replace it. Let's see what's gonna happen. So this is how you need to add the level in the build scene, in the build settings. Now come out of it. Now this is the level 2 that you're seeing over here. Okay, now let's save this level with some name. So for that, again, we can come on this file option and we can hit the save scene as button, and we can save this scene as level 2. So it is going to work for us as level 2 for our game. Okay, so now for in level 1, I think we have made some mistake over here. Just a second. Let me just create that cube again. I think we have lost that whole thing which we created some while back, but not at all an issue. We can make it again. Okay, so this is how I created that red platform, and this is level 1 on which I'm working right now. And we need to define a cube now, which we are going to name as white cube, right? Let's put it here. Okay, now that is fine, I think. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I just need to apply this test cube script on this white cube. That's what I did. Let's see whether the test cube script has got added successfully. Yes, it has got added successfully. And what else I did? Need to define a 3D sphere too. Okay, so this is a sphere. I need to put it here, and I need to tag it with this enemy name, right? So let's see what is the thing that we are going to get as a result. Right now we are not getting the result because we have not applied that rigid body component. Okay, sphere. For sphere also I need to do the same thing, right? So this is level 1. These are all the things that we did in level 1. Okay, it is working perfectly fine. And this is level 2. Let me just show you level 2 also. So this is level 2, and this is what we have defined in level 1. Okay, so now how can we reset the game? That's what we are going to learn. So in order to shift to the other level, the first thing that we need to do is we need to define a package. Okay, we need to define a package first. And what is the name of the package that we need to define? The name is Unity Engine dot scene management. Okay, so this is a package in which all the files related to the game levels are there. Management. Now what we can do is we need to calm down. Okay, so now here we have defined a code. In this update function, we need to come in this update function. Okay, and let's copy this code that we had used for reading the input from the keyboard. Let's copy this code and paste it here. Now what we want is when the user will press R key, we want the game to get reset automatically. So how can we do that? By shifting to level 2. Okay, so that's how we can make the game reset. Now for doing that, again we are going to place this curly brackets here, and here we are going to define a code, scene, and then manager fine. Scene manager dot load scene is a property with the help of which you can load any scene on your Unity platform. Okay, so this is a property that I'm going to use here. Now with scene, I want the Unity to load when the user hits the R button. I want the Unity to load up this level 2, right? This is the name that we had given to the second scene. Okay, let's now save the changes and come on the Unity platform. Now here we need to make some changes. We need to come on this file option, and then we need to come on this build settings part. Okay, now here we already have got a level 1, but we are not able to see level 2. So we need to come here. We need to come here, drag and drop this level 2 inside this build settings. Okay, on this build settings. Now let's see what is going to happen when we will hit this play button. So this is what we will get to see when we will hit the play button. Let's see what are we going to get when we will hit the R button. So the scene has got automatically resetted. Okay, the Unity has moved us to level 2. So that's how you can reset the game. Now let's talk about how can we add a text to our game. Fine. So for adding a text, what we need to do is, first of all, we need to come on this edit part. Sorry, we need to come on this game object, and here you will be able to see an option called UI. When you will come on this, automatically cascading menu like this will appear. From here you need to select this text option. Okay, now I need to bring it outside the canvas. Let's focus on this text object by selecting this and pressing F key. So this is what you're going to see. Okay, now where is this text object? I want to see it somewhere here in the game area. Let's check out the coordinates of the text axis and the sphere. What are the coordinates of this sphere? 0, 3, -9. Let's define the same coordinate for this text to 0, 3 and -9. Okay, it should be inside the canvas. This is where I made the mistake. It should be inside the canvas only. Okay, so 0 comma 3 comma minus 9 are the coordinates. So this is how the text is going to appear. Okay, as you can see here in this game window. Now what we are going to do is, let's rename this text to something like win text. Okay, let's rename it to win text. And after that, what we can do is we can change the font size and everything, from here. What is the font? Arial is a font and font size is 14. Let's increase the font size to 34. We are not able to see this text anymore. Why? Let me just check that out. Let me just reposition it. Okay, so this is a new text and 0, 3, minus 9. I want to make some, I want to see, instead of this win text, we are not able to, I'm not able to, okay, this is the thing that I was looking for. Let's make it you win. Okay, I want to see you win written over here. So this is how it is going to appear. Let's increase the font size to, if we say 20 is looking fine. How about 30? No, 30 is not looking good. 25, yeah, 25 is better. And I want to see it here. Okay. So initially what I'm going to do is, I am going to disable this win text. Okay, I'm going to disable this win text because I do not want to see it in the beginning of the game. I want to see it when this sphere collides with this cube and get disappeared. After that, I want to see that text, okay, that we have defined. How can we do that? How can we define this thing? How can we define a code for that? So for doing that, what we can do is, first of all, we are going to define a game object for accessing the win text. Okay, so this is how we can define a game object. Okay, sorry, the G of game object should be bigger because this is a data type that we have defined over here. Okay, and win text, we are going to use it as a variable. Fine. So the data type of this win text is game object. Now what else can we do? We can define a condition where we need to define a condition. Okay, this is the collision function, right? So if this enemy tagged sphere collides with the cube, I want to see it disappear. Besides, I want to see that text should get activated. Okay, so how can I activate that text? By using this active, by using a property named active. Okay, set active. That's how I can activate that text, and I need to set it to true. Fine. Let's see now what are we going to get as a result. So when I will hit this, one more thing I need to see, I think. Now here in this sphere, or where's the cube? This is the cube and this is a white cube, and here inside this test script I'm not able to see this WinText property, right? Because this is a variable and it should get reflected over here. Let's see what are we going to get as a result. No problem. Okay, we are getting some compilation error. I think we have made some mistake. WinText, this is completely fine. Game object, and then WinText dot set active is okay. It should be active. It should not be activate. It is not activate. It is active. That's where we made the mistake. Let's see what's going to happen when we will save and run the code. So this sphere is colliding, but we are not able to see the text because the text is still not activated. In order to activate the text, what we need to do is, when you will come on this white cube, you will get to see this WinText over here inside this test cube script. Okay, so you need to put this cube. Where is that cube? You need to put this WinText inside this game object. So need to drag it and drop it here. Now let's see what are we going to get as a result. So this is what you're going to get as a result. Okay, now comes the last part of this lecture. That is, how can we move this sphere towards right, left, forward and backward direction? How can we do that? So for doing that, what we need to do is we need to come up here. Okay, and we will be using 3 variables for this thing. The first variable that we will be using is for moving it along the x-axis. Okay, x input is a variable that we will be using. Another variable is z input for moving it backward and forward, right? And one more thing that we will be using is public float, a variable speed that we will be using for imparting some speed to the object while it is moving. Okay, now let's come here inside this update function. Okay, now here what we are going to do is we are going to pass a code. X input is equals to, first of all, we are going to get the value of the x-axis and y-axis. And how can we do that? By using a simple code which is equal to sign. Yeah, so by using a simple code get axis. Sorry, first of all we need to define the class, right? So as to read the input when the key will get pressed. Input.getAxis. So this is a property that we can use for getting the input from the direction keys, horizontal. So this is going to give us this code is going to help us in reading the input when the user will press the left and right buttons, left and right direction keys. And this is the code that is going to help us in reading the input when the user is going to press the upward and downward direction keys. Okay, now what else can we do? We need to move the rigid body, right? So rb dot add force. So this is going to add some force to the rigid body component, and we want to move it along x-axis with this speed. We don't want to move it along z-axis, so we are going to pass 0 here, and we want it to move with this speed along this y-axis. So this is a code that we can make use of. Let's see what are we going to get after saving this thing. So the script is getting saved right now. Okay, and let's play the game. Let's see what are we going to get as a result. We will be able to move the cube or not. Let's check that out. So everything is happening, but we are not able to move the cube. Now why we are not able to move the cube, that's what we need to check out. So we had applied this C# script on this white cube, right? Okay, because the speed here is 0, that is the reason we were not able to move the cube. Let's pass a value like 100 here. Let's see what are we going to get as a result. Okay, so I have passed value 100 here for this speed variable of white cube. Now let's see what are we going to get as a result. So the sphere has got disappeared. Now I'm able to move it in all the directions. See how beautiful animation. Okay, I'm able to move it, right? See? So this is how I can move it. Now it is rolling, in order to control the movement of this cube along the x-axis, we can freeze the rotation. I think we forgot to freeze the rotation when we created level 2. Let's see now how it is going to slide on this. So this is how we can control the movement of this cube along the x-axis. Okay, now let's see what is going to happen if I'm able to move it in all the direction, right? So this is how you can control the movement of the cube. Hope you enjoyed the lecture. Please do share the link of this video with all your friends so that they can get the benefit of the free